The first time I met Robert Atkinson was at St Charles School in Waverley. Robert lived in nearby Blenheim Street. His house was one of the small cottages that date to the mid-1800s. Robert lived close to the Metro and Coronet theatres. In the 1950s, it was customary for young boys to watch old Tarzan movies on Saturday afternoon. It was tough then. Whilst the more affluent Catholic boys wore their straw boaters to Waverley College, we poorer Catholics attended St Charles School, which was situated 100 or so metres further down Carrington Road. Broken bottles were embedded into the high walls that surrounded our cemented playground. The sharp-pointed glass was put there to deter the pupils from scaling the walls in search of various tennis and handballs that had been lobbed over into the neighbouring yards. It didn't stop the local kids who lived near the school, who could scramble between the shards of glass before anyone saw them. There were often scuffles on the handball court, so it was helpful to have a big brother at St Charles. Robert had Ken and I had Peter. I used to ride a bike to school. I remember Robert telling me that he and his brother Ken had ridden their bikes all the way to Palm Beach and back, quite a feat for a 13-year-old lad. Now Robert wasn't a big guy, but he could certainly take care of himself in a stoush. In 1966, about 8 of us surf riders were attending the Op Pop disco near Railway Square. A group of sharpies took exception to what we were wearing or the way we danced. The disco lights made it hard to see, but word got around that someone had been stabbed on the dance floor. I was summoned to go outside because Robert was fighting the leader of the sharpies, who was an Asian chap. One of the sharpies saw that Robert was getting the upper hand and was about to step in, so I punched him as hard as I could. He didn't move an inch, which scared me, but nevertheless he subsequently stayed out of it. Meanwhile, the leader of the sharpies had succumbed to one of Robert's resting holes, and that was that. From that day hence, Robert earned the nickname Tarzan. Tarzan! Sydney could be brutal in the 60s. There were the customary brawls outside hotels, the Maroubra Bra boys, the Paddington Paddo boys and the Bondi boys all boast of their legendary street fighters. When Flower Power and the Summer of Love arrived from California in 1967, we readily embraced it. For a while there was peace and the fighting stopped. In June of 1967, one of the local boys who was studying medicine offered our group LSD 25. It was being manufactured at Sydney University. Knowing the dangers of taking hallucinogenic drugs, we decided that one of us had to desist from taking LSD so he could act as a guide. We unanimously chose Tarzan. That same year, Bronte Beach was closed due to storm waves lashing the coast. Gordon Wilco Wilkinson was attempting to rescue a swimmer on his surfboard. They were battling against a massive rip at the north end of the beach. The moment I decided they might need help, Akko, or Tarzan, was right there beside me. We grabbed 2 surfboards from the surf club and paddled out on the reef away from the rip. There was a lull for a while, but as we paddled towards them, we were all suddenly swept out to sea on the express rip. After surviving a set of very thick mountainous swells, we ended up far out to sea, way past the shark nets. Wilco, whose other nickname was Jaws, told us not to worry if sharks appeared, as they would only be curious. He also said that the police launch would soon arrive to rescue us. I'll never forget Akko's courage and coolness. My knees were near trembling with fear. Ray Emery also relates one of the tales of Tarzan's courageous feats. Someone had pushed a rare model FJ Holden over the cliffs near the gap. Climbing down fishermen's ladders, Robert and Ray reached the wreck and dismantled the cylinder head before hauling it back up the vertically steep cliff face. Ray said that looking back now, he does not know how they completed their almost impossible mission. Having visited the Buddhist temple site of Borobudur in Java, Robert Tarzan Atkinson settled on the south coast of New South Wales, where he constructed a magnificent wooden house. There he fathered Matthew and Arwan and also became stepfather to Kylie, the daughter of Yvonne. A brave soul, Yvonne took on the role of Tarzan's Jane. An exceptional ceramic artist, Yvonne exhibits pottery vessels that are fired on a kiln that Robert built. Anyone who ever knew Robert knows that he was a powerful but gentle being, an excellent photographer, keen surfer, acoustic guitarist, carpenter, mechanic and skilled bushman. Robert Tarzan Atkinson, you are sorely missed, We trust that you are in heaven and continue to watch over us.